Hello, everybody. Welcome to Trader Minute. It's great to have you on board. I'm Carl. Thanks for tuning in. And it's time for the top three. Now, for the top three, I found two. Yeah, there's not very many bearish triggers out there. Not very many bullish signals out there. So the best ones that I could find, I'll show them to you. The market's made a little bit of a comeback, as well as our positions. The market's just down one, just over one right now. So it actually went positive for a short period of time. We've got just over an hour left in the trading day, so we'll see where the market ends up. Okay, so let's look at the top two today. I got Facebook, or I guess it would help. And was showing Facebook in the chat today, as well as a little bit earlier here. Now this was a vibe bull signal here, a bull vibe bull. And let me zoom in on this. Not that much. Get that to where you can see it all. All right, so we got obviously an uptrending stock. We talked about how it has a little bit of a rounded bottom pattern on it. It's got the handle in here. Now we're pushing up off of that. You can also, if you look a little bit closer there, I can't zoom any closer, but you also got a bullish engulfing candle pattern right there. You have some fairly strong volumes today. You got uptrending indicators as well. A nice strong candle right here. Now if this happens to sell off and close back below the 7, then I would hesitate making a trade on this, but I don't think that's going to happen. It's been pretty strong all day today. So it's got a lot going for it. You don't always need the strong volumes there with a vibe bull signal like this, but when you get them, again, that adds just a little bit more odds to the trade. Okay, here stop, put a stop not on the 7, it's a little bit close to that. You could a little bit tighter stop on the 7. Today's open might be a little bit looser for you. Now if you went January options here, well, we got just not quite 2 full weeks, about 9 trading days left, not counting today, right? So you could even put a stop right there at the 7 for a little bit of a tighter stop on that if you went near-term options like that. Now as far as near-term options, they're going to cost you less, and the risk is a little bit higher, but the reward's going to be a lot higher too if this thing takes off. I put a price target on this up there. I put it up there at 60. It's a little bit aggressive. If this thing gets up towards that $59 range, and Facebook has some days where it can really take off and move, but it gets in around that $59 range. You got January options. I'd probably just take it and run. You get a decent gain out of this. Take it and run. Of course, you guys can get a gain, get out anytime along the way. But put a stop if you go in January. I'd buy 2 strikes in. If I'm going January right now, I'd go definitely 2 strikes in the money, and a tighter stop probably on the 7, something like that. That way you don't have as much to risk. Okay, and then the next trade of the top 2 of my top 3, which is 2 today, is Goodyear. Goodyear Tire. Now, darn it, watch it in the close. It's weakened a little bit since I saw this. It's got all the averages rising. Yeah, I showed, you can see that MACD, you can see part of it. They're rising. You've got all the indicators rising as well. It's got some strong volume, which you don't always need. Now there's a little bit of some news on this, but there's a plant closing overseas, and they've taken this came out this morning before the market opened, and it's done nothing but go up all day. They've taken a couple of Goodyear's employees hostage. But it hasn't affected the stock at all. In fact, it's always a good thing if they're closing a plant normally. But that's something out there on them. It's not affecting the stock price. This is sold off a little bit, and you hear me talk about these. I'd like this thing to finish up here at the highs. If it doesn't finish at the highs, it means the odds aren't quite as high in our favor as if it closes back down here. Okay, it's just a little bit more confirmation if it closes up there to the highs. It's sold off since I put this on my top 3 a little bit. It's back down here, so I'd want a strong finish right here for this today. Doesn't mean it can't go higher, but I'd love to see it close above at least this point from this candlestick right there. Again, if it closes back in this range, it just diminishes the odds a little bit of this thing ready to go. Yeah, you're right, Max. There's been a lot of people buying around those calls, but it's a decent looking trade. I mean, the thing I like about it, again, the volume. It's got a little bit of a. It's not there yet. This would be a variation of a three methods rising pattern here. It's not a perfect setup, but the confirmation of that pattern and would be a move here above the opening candle right up that point, just under 24. So this closes up there towards the highs of the day. That'd be a great setup with a lot of the odds on our side. Closes back down here around the 7, just diminishes those odds a little bit. Okay, so those are the top two today. Another really good setup, but it was my top 3 from Friday. I didn't want to go back to back. Is Hewlett Packard. Nice reversal today. Sold off, went below the 7, down below 28, and turn has gone positive. It's a good looking sign that this thing doesn't want to go down, likely to break up through the 28.5 mark. But so that's just would be considered one of the runner-ups. And then another runner-up. Now this is more of a radar stock. It's not set here yet. It's really close. And you could try to anticipate this. Couldn't argue that. The 1120 mark, that's been resistance for it here, right, for a while now. This is a good looking reversal candle, suggesting this thing might just run right through it. Waiting overnight for a little bit confirmation, it might just take off on us, yet it might not. So this is one thing I'd watch tomorrow and see if it can get, if it gets another candle like today or bounces up off that 7 again. It's just right there. The 7 is just right there. Up over the 1120 mark would be some great bullish indications that this thing's set to run another leg higher. It's a good looking setup. And then looked at this one a little bit earlier, the Cisco. It's not there. Again, more of a radar, one to keep on the radar. I'd want here a stronger push, see if it can't get above that high right here. Would be a nice confirmation that, hey, it's just locked in a higher level of support and a higher low, and it could run up here towards the $23 area if it gets through that level right there. So okay, one more radar stock. Now this is a trend rider bear signal. It's got almost all the aspects. The option prices, the spreads are a little bit wide, but look at the setup. This is a trend rider bear, and for a trend rider bear, you want the RSI breaking 50. You want it shooting into the lower Bollinger Band, which it is. It's dropped into it a little bit more than when I was looking at this. You also can see the Bollinger Band are expanding. The Bollinger Bands are expanding. You can see that now. You can look at the Bollinger Bands, right? You can see that also when the Bollinger Band width indicator starts to rise, and this is at near the low, so you can see it's been really tight. The lower it gets means the tighter the bands are. So it's starting to expand. You can see this is the tightest the bands have been here, at least the last 7 months that we're looking at. Oops, wrong button. And jump into that lower Bollinger Band. So a couple things you can look at here as well. Okay, 70, one of the big numbers, multiple of 10. It's been battling that area just pretty much a month, a solid month. And so it pushed down over here, and then notice the volumes pick up when it pushed down. This was last Thursday. Pushes down big through it, and the next day came up and hit 70 again and bounced back down off of it. That's on last Friday, and today opens up right where it closed pretty much on Friday and pushes down to the lower Bollinger Band. This is a pretty positive sign that that little bit of a channel that it's been in there for about a month is breaking out of it, and the thing could run down here. I mean, once it gets through 70, really the next level about 60. There should be a little bit around right through this range. Really 66 to 67 area is the next decent level below this. So it's got a ways to run. This one, I'd use the 7 as a stop. It's a pretty good stop for that. Use the 7-day moving average, and then look at it as it approaches the $67 range. If it gets down to that $67 range, that's where I'd be looking as an exit. It could come to 66, but around 67, a little bit more conservative, and that's what, a couple dollars lower from where we're at. This thing's at just under 69 right now, so it's got a ways to run. Okay. All right, thanks for tuning in to the top 3. I'll be right back on. I know you got some stocks you want me to look at out there, and I'll get back and look at those when I get back on here in about 5 minutes or so. 5, 7 minutes. I'll be right back on. Okay, thanks everybody. Bye-bye.